Well, hello.
Happy holidays, man.
Happy 420, man. Even though it's 421, we missed the holidays. How you doing, my friend?
I didn't know it transitioned. I'm celebrating the holidays, man. I'm doing it after Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, see, I think you and I had a conversation that we need to, combine 420 and Cinco de Mayo. I mean, 422.55. I mean, come on, that kind of works.
Seems fair, man. Seems fair. It seems very fair. It's gonna be raining anyway. We might as well just sit around and smoke and drink, whatever, tequila.
I got you. So what you up to, man? What's on your mind, brother?
Well, I was just thinking about it, man. It's like, I look back at the freedom, because, I watched the Jimmy Kimmel and I think Colbert and, just everybody was talking about it where they were even mentioning it where it's mainstream now, and I can remember a time, man, whenever you said marijuana, all the little church ladies and, everybody was just
devil's lettuce. Yeah, see, I like the Jimmy Kimmel where, like, guess who's high? And, I sit there and, I sent you that link from the Jimmy Kimmel and they're out there and they're like, who's high? And, yeah, the man in the middle, the Visine commercial guy. He's like, no, I knew immediately. Oh, it was that little silver-haired chick from Canada. That bitch was who was high. I could tell. And she was, and it was so funny because, the idealized thing of pot nowadays is you look like a stoner. You look like this little worthless piece of crap driving in this little truck. But, God, see that right there. I mean, that was a woman from Canada that was like, oh, that bitch is high. I could tell she's high. But she did not look like that middle guy. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, the preconceptions of marijuana, has gotten to the point of it's crazy, but at the same time, look at the people who are doing it. I mean, Kimmel, Colbert, every one of those, like, they can smell it all over the place. So why is it a problem still? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm right there with you. Of course, it's I do smell it everywhere I go, and that's exactly what I'm saying. It's changed so much, and of course, pot's changed too. This is not your daddy's pot. We
Oh no, sir.
So it's a different thing, and I don't know if it's any. I've messed with the higher and the lower THC levels and played around with different things, and I'm going to tell you, being high is being high. Now, how long it lasts, I think, is the secret to what the newer pot does, like the newer high-end stuff. But like you said, you insinuated, the demographics of the people that are buying it have changed. People like me, typically, you wouldn't have. I messed with it a little bit in high school.
Yes.
And then I left it alone until I was lucky enough in my mid-30s till I happened upon it. And I was a professional, advanced degrees and worked inside of a place. And on the weekends, I do a little bit. I always passed my drug test. And then I realized, God, I was so much happier when I smoked. Why don't I do it more often?
Well, see, and again, without getting in too deep to my history and stuff, if I could have smoked weed, I lost my job due to drinking, and that was my fault because of unhappy home life type stuff. But this herb has got me off so many other things. I mean, the pills and I was taking like methadone for God's sakes. I mean, because I had that big of a damage to my neck. I'm on disability. And if I could have had this, I don't think it would have been as bad as it was, but it is what it is. So, you damn right. I'm 420 all the way. I mean, I don't have to take in, as much blood pressure medicine. I don't have to take no heart medications. I mean, it's just, geez, you're like the vitality of life. Well, for a 50-year-old man that has lived hard, yeah, I am. But I mean, it's just that exploration of I think folks are realizing that, it's kind of part of it.
Man, I love to. Of course, the thing of it is that it doesn't. Let's explain pot to people. I mean, because a lot of people they still think of it as something they got mixed up with in high school with alcohol, and they don't feel weird, because you don't really. When you're first messing with drugs like them, you're first using them, experimenting with them, how you want to look at it.
Right, gateway drugs. I mean, so that was one of the things that always bothered me was they said, this is a gateway drug. Well, it can be, but come on, if you don't want to go further, you won't go further. I mean, weed, shrooms, those kind of things were such a light mental correction that the folks that went to coke and heroin, and I see, that's what I like the most about when I got my medical marijuana license, is it solved those problems for me. Is I was on methadone. I mean, we're talking pharmaceutical grade heroin for nerve damage, but smoking this tiny little flower, the right combinations, and there's so many combinations, it solved that. I'm on weed, Tylenol, ibuprofen, and alpurinol. I mean, I have stopped all the rest of it. That's what makes me wonder why folks don't look at it better. What do you think?
Well, that's exactly it. Of course, as the generations change, I think more people are seeing it. I hope so, because it's such a big industry now. There's so many people involved in it. There's a lot of money involved in it. But it's now, you see, to me, that's almost, it's almost like putting, legs on a snake, because it's kind of a medicine, Uh-oh.
Legs on a snake. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's like putting legs on a snake. It's already good. I mean, it can already slither anywhere it wants to go. But then you start going too far with it, and just giving it away to little kids and shit. I disagree with, because it's powerful medicine. It should be people probably that are 21. But I think that people over 21, I would say older than that. Of course, I'm biased. I'm way past the age, but I like that I waited until I was 36, or 7, whatever I was, when I started smoking it pretty regular.
Right. Well, and that's kind of what I was getting with. I mean, just to kind of throw this in there, I apologize for interrupting you, but yeah, we got a little older and we realized the pharmaceutical industry that solved our problems could have been solved just by, if we could have smoked during the time that it was illegal. Now, it is still illegal in so many ways, but I mean, that's what I was getting at, is I would have become an alcoholic, disabled guy with a cirrhosis of the liver if I could have maybe had a little weed in the middle. I mean, because it truly was I'm not the normal individual, and, everybody's a little different, and I think folks are realizing that now. Again, we're talking about the legalization of weed. Everybody reacts a tiny bit different, but for the overall good, it's better than the pharmaceutical grade of the stuff that they shove Oxycontin down people's throat. Oh, take these pain pills. See, there's where I fell into that little hole. The Oxycontin, the synthetic weed and stuff that they made actually hurt me until I got back to this natural. So, what do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, of course, it's having it where it's available to you at a dispensary, but there's a whole lot wider availability for people right now. I mean, we could talk about it in a Discord conversation with people one day or something, but I mean, there's all kinds of ways to access pot now. Well, you used to could not. I mean, it would be impossible. You had to go to places you had to deal with people you wanted to deal with. I mean, it was squirrely as hell. It's dangerous as hell. And you don't know really what you were getting, even with real pot, supposedly. you buy it from somebody you've never met before. I mean, what the fuck you getting? What's it sprayed with? You know. So
well, you look at the fentanyl and the stuff that they're currently talking about. So that goes back to I do like I have an actual medical license. I have to go get it from a dispensary, and not everybody can do that. Some folks have to go to other places of town to get this stuff, but it is a medicine that is needed, and I think it's very important to many people. I promise you, I've made millions in my life, and I have lost it because I didn't have the right medicine. If I had this, then I don't think I'd be where I would be. You know what I'm trying to say? But yeah, you can't go to those little back road alleys and go, hey man, give me a $10. Yeah. You may end up with stuff, laced with fentanyl. I mean, made from Mexico and be brick, but there could be some white powder in there. So
yeah. And that fentanyl could come in concentrated spray form. I mean, if you just get a little bit of that shit, it would decimate you, man. That stuff is very powerful. I think that a gram of it will make 1,000 people high and kill 600 people or something like that.
Well, and you're probably right, because you remember at some point you sent me pictures of you throwing brownies out into the water because there was so much Delta 8 in whatever the product was. That was a synthetic thing. And so I get that.
Well, I don't know. I've kind of revised that theory. I think that what I had,
okay.
I think that what I had in there was, I didn't know. I think that it was supposed to be CBD with a small amount of THC, and I think it was a very high THC. And then whenever I made it into a butter, I made it.
Yeah, it floated. I mean, I still remember dude, those brownies float.
Yeah. And I just used a little bit of the butter in there, because remember, there was still the block of butter I threw in there too. The stuff was so thick, dark green. I mean, it was just amazing.
Oh, I remember. It was crazy. Like, Jesus, Brett. Hey, I miss our butter. I mean, that butter in the coffee. Oh, dude, that feels something. That was actually a very good thing. But oh yeah, I still
complicated.
You had damn floating fish. Dead frogs. Brownies floating on the water of your pond. It's like, dude, did you throw those brownies on your pond?
I think that those were a nightmare. I don't think anything actually died, but I was thinking about that. The moment I threw it into it, I was like, oh, holy shit. And I was like, it was like during the winter, I couldn't get it out.
It was.
Like, they're going to get all my fish. They're going to get. Fuck.
Yeah, I truly don't believe you killed anything, but damn, it was so funny. It's like, holy shit! This experiment went wrong, and I just still remember the picture of those brownies floating on your pond, away from your deck. And I was like,
yeah.
Dude, how many dead fish are going to show?
Of course, it would probably be good to eat them, because if you ate them, and hopefully it would. I don't know how far to get in their system, but man, it would probably already be buttered up. Man, you didn't get high off of it, I guess.
I know. I just thought it was hilarious.
But
kind of one of those brain F things.
If you think about it, though, man, that's I don't even know if it affects them, but my God, see, that's the thing. See, a lot of people jump into a high THC situation like that, where most of my life, I would say that, when I was a teenager, and then while I was in my 30s, because in my teenager, I really smoked on and off, really from like 12 to probably 18, and then again around 35 up. But I smoked for a lot of years, not every day, but quite a bit, at least every week or so, and so. it always felt so much different. You know, I didn't even like what I'm comparing it to alcohol. I was like, I'm not really high, but that butterfly sure is fucking beautiful. You know, so you know what I'm saying? So it's like a different kind of fucking. It's like that one of those clips today from that show from I think it was Kimmel last night. It was like that lady was like, "Yeah, it's like a beautiful day here in Colorado, and the birds are. How do they fly? Yeah, you're like, how do they fly?
Right.
Like, see, that's the way I feel. That's what pot does me. I'm like, whoa, look at that, man. You know, and it releases all your pain. It makes you feel good. I mean, so how can you beat that, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I'm with you 100% there. It truly is the case of, you know, just I'm trying to say, with this herb that we use, if I could have used it back during the time, you know, when I had a job that did not allow, I mean, zero. I mean, you failed your drug test, you lost that job. You know, it would have changed things. It could have kept me off of some of the synthetic stuff that I had to live through that maybe actually made it worse. I mean, because it got better after I got off of that, but it's hard to tell folks. It's like, oh, science is the go-to people, but the pain medication thing, which is where all this come in, they were more about the science made them money, not necessarily helping somebody. I mean, we're going back to the opioid crisis. I mean, you know, like, oh, yeah, give it. But this here actually solved all that, and I don't need any of that no more. So, yes, I like this flower.
Hey, what happened basically is exactly what those other pharmaceutical type companies were saying was going to happen, was that it was going to get into their profits. And it will, the further and further and further it gets away from being totally out of the system. I mean, it's classified as the most serious, dangerous drug there is, like Schedule 1, isn't it, narcotic? So, you know, it
right. And there's the thing is that hiding of it actually messed us up. I mean, in a lot of ways. I mean, in terms of, oh, gosh, don't have those needs. Don't have that, oh, crap, I took the last of these pain pills. I got to go hunt some down, got to go to some doctors, pay some things, go to some part of town, you know, pay $5 a pill for. See, that all changed when this became legal.
Yeah.
There's such a big difference there.
Man, I'm going to tell you, it is. And not only that, it's just made it free flowing everywhere. You feel like, you know, again, you're getting better product. If we could have had this, my life would have been a whole lot better in a lot of ways, because there are times that I refuse to take antidepressants or anti-anxiety meds. You know?
Oh, yes. Yes.
You know, and it's because I need them. I'm fucking nutso. I mean, I'm fucking nuts anyway, but I'm a little bit more tolerable if I've had a little herb. And my life, if it could have, if it would not have been a required thing, and I could have had, you know, around responsible people to teach me to teach me that it could be a medicine that could help me, that would have been dramatic for my life. I mean, because if I could use pot when I was 30, or 25.
Oh. Yes.
Like I could do now, my life I would be a fucking, you know, wherever.
See, that's what I was trying to say, is somewhere about 25 to 30, that was at the worst point. If I could have had weed at that point, I mean, because that was my divorce from my first wife, before the second wife. I had, you know, pain, neck issues. I mean, you know, just all kinds of stuff. If I could have got off of the pharmaceuticals, it wouldn't have led me to some of the things I think I got into later. Because they didn't actually solve that little problem. This solves that problem. That's why I like this so much.
Well, and I'm going to tell you this. Whenever I'm smoking pot, I don't really have a desire to do anything other than maybe an occasional drink, and that's just because, you know. But you know, even that can be dangerous for me. I mean, it's a lot more dangerous for me than what pot is, I can assure you. You know.
Oh no, I mean that's what I mean. It's like, smoke that stuff. That's good junk.
and leave all the other stuff alone. But I mean, like I said, people again think about. I want you to talk about this because you could probably explain it a little bit too. Is that pot's not a gateway drug. I mean, there's other ways that you can explore around and do with pot, but pot's pot. I think. Now we talked about those edibles that I made that time, and they can be quite freaking powerful. They can blow you out of the water. But it doesn't last too long, and as soon as it's over with. But I mean, I think I had a heartbeat increase, but now I took a lot of it. It was a sativa. I'm talking about. It was more than a good dose, but I didn't die. I didn't get sick. I didn't throw up. I was just paranoid as fuck, for 2 or 3 hours, and then I was, it got pretty good.
Well, I'm going to.
You must be enjoying it.
I'm enjoying a hit right now. So let me tell you about this. I mean, so.
What are you smoking tonight? He's gonna tell us. He's gonna tell us. He's making a song for me to sing to. Well, he was a train man.
Jeez, that was
I said he was a train man. He could turn a wrench in a paper mill. He was a train man.
Okay, some of that was a dirty.
Turn a wrench. He could twist another one.
Okay, some of that was just a dirty pipe. I need cleaning it more, but Rainmaker.
Train man.
21.2
train man. Man, that was you had a good beat going on, man. Can you hear me? I was singing to it. You had to hear.
Oh, I could hear you. I could hear you singing to it. I kept going.
I can hear you. You're smoking a Rain Man. It's 21%, and you had a dirty pipe. Your pipe's dirty. That's why you got you all clogged up, man.
Yeah, believe me, I know you heard me.
Okay, now tell me, is that a sativa, a hybrid, indica? What is that thing you got?
The Rainmaker, I think it's an indica base. It's probably a 60-40, but oh yeah. Oh damn, that shit. Ooh. The Rainmaker is part of a strain that's probably one of the strongest strains they make, up to 31%. And I'm like, I cannot imagine that. Oh, and that it still was listed as one of the strongest strains available.
Well, what is the difference in the high you get from a 15% to a 30%? What could be the variance there? I guess it could be strain and contingent too, but is it?
Well,
what does a stronger level of THC do?
Well, I'll tell you the way I understand it. All right, so the indica couch. All right, so those are going to be the normal, really high THC. You go up to the 21-25% level, your ass is going to take naps. It's just that easy. You can get a sativa that's at a 15%, and while the THC quote high level is less, the terpenes, the limonene, the what are you smoking the weed for? I mean, the sativas are more the energetic, creativity. Although I saw something earlier that said, oh, smoking pot does not make you more creative. I totally disagree with that shit. People will come up with the most brilliant ideas on THC. So, yeah, I don't buy that shit at all. But it's still a case of, are you going to lay on the couch? You just want to lay, and in the mornings I'll wake up and I get my coffee and I'll smoke, and I'll sit there and I'll just kind of roll through my dreams, the things I think about. But then sometimes you and I and Danny get to talking. Well, then, I get hyper. It just kind of depends.
That's for sure right there. You know, the kind of the mood you bring to it, you know, and the people you're around, you know, of course, everybody's collective mood, you know. That's why it's good to have 2 or 3 people, because somebody can be pissed, and it's always good to, usually people get calmed down, you know, specifically over a bowl, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, peace pipe.
Peace pipe, man.
Hey, the Indians had that shit right. Let's smoke a peace pipe. Calm your ass down, smoke some of the herb, and let's go. Dude, your wife is hot. I'll let you have her.
I don't know. That's some hell of a peace pipe y'all got going on over there now.
Yeah, but you know, come on, Indians, they throw their squalls and stuff. So go ahead.
So I was thinking about this though, and so like, you know, just the fact that you can get up in the morning now and it's widely available. There is a lot of cannabis floating around in the mail system right now. There's no telling how, because a lot of people buy it and have it shipped to you, even if it's just in your state. It's being delivered by UPS and FedEx and USPS, and I mean, it is big money for everybody. You know, it's making money off of it. You know, because and it's getting to be where it's more affordable. I noticed there's more sales, specifically this time of year. And every time there's a holiday, there's a sale. You know, it's becoming a more natural product, you know, where they try to move it sometimes when they get too much of it. And, you know.
It is. And, you know, that's kind of one of the things that I was most impressed about is, you know, Jimmy Kimmel and, you know, the late shows, the ones we watch, you know, I mean, type thing. Every one of them pointed out that all these news stations are talking about a untalkable subject. I mean, you know, they're talking about, oh, it's 420. You could tell some of them was like, bitch, you ain't never smoked a joint in your life, have you? But you just see some of them was like, oh, you've been partaking normally. It's just the fact that they're actually making it more public. 420 is becoming Christmas. It's actually becoming a holiday, a noticeable worldwide, international holiday. Everybody talks about it. That's what blows my mind is we're getting a holiday for something that everybody hated, but now everybody's like, oh, this shit ain't that bad. It's growing. 420 will become a holiday. It'll become a national holiday at some point. I'm telling you.
Hey, man, I've already started taking it as a holiday. I just take off that day every year. I mean, because
well, but I know, but now that's because me and you already have that understanding. I'm saying that it's getting out to the folks that you would never would believe could understand it. But they are. It's actually becoming a national holiday. Not just for the folks that are, we're just different. I mean, you know, our brains work differently and then, you know, that kind of thing. So, yeah, those people that, I watch some of those Jimmy Kimmels and they're like, they were showing the Mike Pence guy. You know, they were like, who is this? And they're like, that guy looks familiar. And I'm like, are you really fucking serious? That's Mama's boy, Mike Pence. I mean, have you watched some of that? That's what really gets me.
Yeah, I have.
Some of these folks do not even know who their leaders are.
They need to smoke a bowl and slow down. I don't know what they're watching because I thought everybody was, you know, watching the news or stuff, but apparently they're doing something else. But hey, let's wind our 420 thing up here. And
all right, go ahead.
Well, you know,
let's do that.
I think that what we've explained here is that this is what I took of it was that we tested a long time ago. It was hard to get. It was not as often as you wanted to. It was inconsistent, bad quality, whatever else. But we knew it was good, and we've been fighting for it all these years. I know I contributed money to the cause forever. Have put money into the local groups and all that kind of business. And now it's more available and it's becoming more socially acceptable, and it's a good medicine. And it needs to be all the way socially acceptable. It needs to be done at the federal level, you know, because there's a lot of people that work through federal or for the federal government through subcontracts or whatever else. And there's so many people that they are resorting to the use of just drinking alcohol, which causes so many problems. It blocks up the damn system. Both pot and alcohol are blocking up the system. If you get more emphasis on pot out there, it would make things better. Yeah, you get this crazy amounts of the shit make people go fucking nuts, but it's so less hard to deal with than someone that's drunk. And I'm just so glad to see in our lifetime that it's to this level. But you go ahead and finish it out, though. You probably can add more to it and be thankful.
No, you actually said everything that I wanted to say. I mean, alcohol is just such a reliable, sadly, repeatable experience. And that's, I think, where alcohol has hurt us. You know, I mean, like with smoke. I mean, I get up in the morning, depending on if I drink 1 cup of coffee, and the strain of weed I, quote, smoke, changes my attitude. But I can go buy me a bottle of Jameson, and I will have the same experience every single time. I will get a certain feeling. I will feel a certain way. I'll act a certain way. The alcohol has let folks have reliably high episodes, but yeah, they're not reliable in terms of, you know, you working. These things, as far as the weed, has changed me in terms of my ideas of what I need to actually make myself feel good. I still take some high blood pressure medicine, but I don't have to take all the pain medicine that made the high blood pressure high. It's just that thing that if I could have had the weed, quote, unquote, during that time, then I probably would not be disabled. I'd probably be a very effective and, you know, productive member of society. But currently, I get a check. I can't even work. I want to work, but I can't. See, there's the thing there. But I'm glad to see that, you know, we had prohibition. People want to do with alcohol. Well, they couldn't do without it. They snuck it in, or they wanted it back. Well, how about you let some of this other in, too? I mean, because some of these things is let the folks have the experience that they want, and if they destroy themselves, I'm so very damn sorry. But maybe they're not wrong. Maybe that's just their experience they need. There you go. All I got to say.
Well, hey, man. Happy 420. Hey, I want to call back. I want us to do a man variety show next, but we're a little bit late on it.
Oh, yeah. Call me back on this the other one we'll talk about.
It's just I'm able to look into the future, and I can see that you're going to be late publishing this because you're going to be late recording it. And good night. Goodbye.